Hello friends and enemies, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Silver Fox, and here on this channel I talk about classic literature, films, pop culture, and whatever I feel like talking about. And today I feel like talking about my physical media collection. Last week I showed some of my DVDs. Awesome. My last video was about the movie Labyrinth, and I showed you guys some of my DVDs and VHS tapes and all the stuff I had of that, and I asked you guys if you wanted me to do a tour of my physical media collection. Forgive my voice, I don't know what's going on. I'm giving Ned Fulmer today. I cheated on my wife with my producer. Anyway, so I thought I would be going over primarily my DVDs, but also some of my CDs and vinyls, VHS tapes, cassette tapes. I don't have a lot of those, but I will be going over all of them and just sort of talking about each item, each movie, each album, and why I love it. My cat Mary is shaking my tripod. Sorry. We're going over each thing and talking about why I love it and how I got it and all this stuff and why I love physical media. I will be doing a video very soon about the value of being analog and having physical media, and also just sort of trying to exist more in reality than in the digital world. But not today. Today I will just be going over my DVD and physical media collection. And once again, I apologize for my voice. I don't know what's going on with it. So in this awkward, very difficult to access little corner of my room exists my DVD collection. I have some of them down here. You can't see it on the video, I don't think, at the angle that I'm at, but my dresser's right here and my bed's right here, so I have to climb over my bed to get to this corner. So for the tour today, we will not be doing it from here. We will be taking all these off the shelf because I need to rearrange them anyway because I have some new ones. I will be taking these off the shelf and we will be sitting on the floor in front of my bookshelf going through these. So let me get out of here. Ooh. Alrighty, we are here on my floor with all of my DVDs and CDs and such. Me and my wild hair and my fox socks are here on my floor to go through my DVD collection with you all. I know this isn't the normal angle. Sorry if it's like weirdly informal that I'm sitting on my floor to do this, but I just thought it would be easier this way. So let's just start with what's right on top. This is Mockingjay, and I'll find the other ones in a minute, but this is limited edition, over 5 hours of extras. We really need to bring back having tons of extras and things like that in DVDs, and I'm serious. In my DVD for the first Hunger Games movie, there's well over 8 hours of just behind the scenes content and interviews. I remember watching it once for like 3 hours straight, and I never actually got through it because the whole house shared one TV and they're like, okay, we would like to watch something else. But DVDs used to just be chock full of extras and details about the production, interviews from the cast, showing how they made the movie, and I don't understand why they don't do that. Because, like, they filmed it. They filmed all of this stuff. They film the filming of movies all the time. You can just put it on a disc for us to watch. It shouldn't be, like, no special features or 30 minutes of behind the scenes. It doesn't take 30 minutes to make a film. You have, like, several months worth of stuff you could show. Give me some more. This is my entire Hunger Games DVD box set, complete with the stickers from Walmart that were on it when I bought it years ago. This one even says, includes exclusive sneak peek of Divergent series Insurgent, March 20th, 2015. It's an ad for Insurgent on my Mockingjay Part 1 DVD. Just so you know, I truly did get this as soon as it was released. That is the tragedy of this box set, is now you can get all the Hunger Games movies in one like DVD disc set for like $5 or $10, but I bought these when they came out because I was so excited and I had to have each movie on DVD as soon as it came out. And so you're talking $20 each is how much they were. So this is $80 right here. Pretty much every other DVD I bought did not buy brand new. I bought secondhand for much, much less. But I really needed these when they came out because I love the Hunger Games, and I still love the Hunger Games, and I adore the movies and the books. And you can never see it from the way I angle my videos, but I have multiple editions of The Hunger Games on my shelf. Those are the books that got me into reading and made me a book lover. And my taste has since then expanded far beyond the reaches of The Hunger Games. I love a variety of different books now. But that is a series I read when I was like 13 that made me want to read. Because before then, I wasn't really a reader, which is kind of embarrassing to say considering how obsessed I am with reading now. And how every other person I talk to who is just obsessed with books and reading, they've been this way since they were like 4, 5, 6. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't start enjoying books until I was a teenager. I'm sort of a late bloomer in kind of every sense, including discovering all of my interests and passions a lot later in life than everybody else did. And reading was definitely one of those. Film, oddly, was not, because, I mean, I watched movies and TV shows all the time when I was a kid. That's not something you really have to discover. Although I specifically remember, and I don't have a DVD of it, which is, I really need to get one now that I think about it. When I was a kid, and I suppose this was probably around the same time that I read The Hunger Games, so maybe it did come kind of late. But Tron Legacy came out, and I love that movie. And I got kind of obsessed with it, so I was like, oh, I have to go back and watch the original Tron movie. And I didn't really enjoy the original Tron so much as a kid, because I just thought the effects were cheesy. And now as a 27-year-old, I just find it so endearing, and I love both Tron movies, and I would be so happy for Tron Ares, because I love that series so much, if it wasn't for the one teeny tiny issue of Jared Leto being the lead. My gosh, I'm still so mad about that. I can't get too much into that. I don't want to talk about Tron too much, but I'm very mad about that. And also Daft Punk not coming back. It'll be okay. I still have Tron and Tron Legacy no matter what happens with Tron Ares. I have to remind myself of that so I don't get upset. But I sat through like the entire original Tron movie just so I could better understand Tron Legacy. And that's when I, as like a very young kid, was like, I'm really passionate about movies and I will do a lot for movies. And now I would watch Tron on my own free will, because I've matured. And I know some people love Tron the moment it came out, but again, I'm a late bloomer. Also, I wasn't alive when it came out. Anyway, I need to not take a billion years. I've only gotten through a very small handful of DVDs, and I've already gone down so many rabbit holes. So let's take a break here and show some VHS tapes. This is for Dead Poet Society. These are both ones I got at my library book sale, so they were probably $1 each. I'm not really sure why this one is in a plastic case. I don't know if you can tell. This is Dead Poet Society, but I thought I'd keep it in the plastic case just to keep it safe. Roman Holiday. I love this movie. I love this movie so much. It is such a cute, little, adorable romance, and I love Dead Poet Society too, but I'll talk more about that in a minute. It is such a beautiful, lighthearted, sweet romance that makes you happy and sad and all of these things. And the first time I watched it was on Valentine's Day a couple years ago. Don't do that. If you're single, don't watch Roman Holiday on Valentine's Day. Bad idea. But speaking of Dead Poet Society, here are 2 DVDs. This one, as you can guess by the style, is a bit older. And this one's a bit newer. This is what, I don't know why I'm putting it like right in front of my face and then leaning out behind it. I have all of this space, but this one is a bit newer. These are both DVDs I bought secondhand. I paid maybe $2 each for them. It never hurts to have a second DVD just in case something happens, but also because, like, I got this one and the visual quality, because it is older, is not that great. It has the little black spots on the screen. And there was a specific term for what that's called, and I should know it as a cinephile, but I don't. But the black spots on the screen. And this one doesn't have those, so I watched this one. One good thing about DVDs is you are not subject to the whims of streaming. Because I don't know if it's on there right now. I can't tell you how many times I wanted to watch Dead Poet Society before I acquired the DVDs, and before I had Wi-Fi and I had access to streaming, I just had to not watch it when I wanted to because I didn't have it on DVD and it didn't come on TV. But when I got streaming, I thought, yes, I can watch Dead Poet Society. So many times it's just not on any streaming service. And they switch it up all the time, and they do this with like every movie, where it will be on a streaming service for a month, and then it's not on anything for a couple of months, and then it's on another different streaming service for a month or two, and then it's off, and then it bounces back and forth, and Even if you watch the movie on HBO Max, that doesn't mean it's going to be there next week. For example, there was one time I really wanted to rewatch The Banshees of Inisherin, and it suddenly wasn't on HBO Max anymore. Even though I had just watched it a week prior. Because yes, I do go back to movies really fast, but the beautiful thing about DVDs, they can take it off any streaming service they want, and you still have full access to the movie. With no ads, mind you. Except in the case of these both being slightly a bit older, I do have to fast forward through the movie previews at the beginning. That's still better than the regular ad breaks in the middle of a movie. Just in the middle of a scene, in the middle of a sentence. Little Women, I don't remember how much I paid for this one. I feel like I might have gotten this new, because it looks... I can tell by looking at some of my other DVDs that they've been through it and passed through multiple hands, but this one looks fairly new, so I think I got this one new. I love Little Women. I love the book, and I love the various adaptations. Also, the 1994 adaptation with Winona Ryder is really good. I love it. I also love this one. The first time I ever watched the 1994 one and the 2019 one, I watched them back to back in the middle of the night, and I cried both times. I thought, okay, now that I've seen the 94 one, I'd already read the book, so I wasn't sure if I was going to cry at the movie, and I still did. And I went, okay, I cried at the movie, I'm not going to cry at the next one. And then I did. I just continued to cry. I love Little Women. And when I showed it to my sister, oh, we both bawled our eyes out. And I was about to tell that whole story, but I'm realizing I'm just yapping, so you know what? Here's an older version of The Labyrinth. I don't remember. I feel like I've had this for a while. Same goes for The Dark Crystal. This is something I feel like I've had since I was a kid. This is something I bought recently. 2 DVD set of both. I think this was probably $5, and I got them because my mom had these sitting in her DVD shelf thing in the living room. And so I looked at my shelf in my room, and I'm like, I don't have Labyrinth or Dark Crystal, what the heck? And so I bought them. And then she was like, oh yeah, we actually have those. So I didn't need to do that. And at some point I also acquired another version of the Dark Crystal. Don't ask me why I have so many, I don't know. And then Labyrinth on VHS from my childhood. So a couple of these are from my childhood. And one version of the Dark Crystal and the Dark Crystal Labyrinth box set I bought recently because I didn't realize I already had them. And now I have so many. I have so many, but it's okay. It's okay. The Mommy. I got this at Goodwill. I know this because there's a sticker on the back that says Goodwill, $3.03. I don't know why it's not just $3 even. This was also Goodwill, $3.03. Twilight Eclipse. I think this is the only Twilight DVD I have. I have only seen the first 2 Twilight movies, and I watched them when I was a kid. And it was last year or something, I think, that I decided, hey, I want to sit down and I want to watch all the Twilight movies. Just because I haven't seen the first ones in a while, and I want to see what the rest of them are, and blah, blah, blah. And they weren't on streaming. And again, they bounce around and all that stuff, so they're probably on some streaming service now. But I just decided that I would try to collect the full box set and then watch all of the movies, and so right now I just have Eclipse. This is a nice 4 DVD set. It has Atonement, Pride and Prejudice, Jane Eyre, and Elizabeth. So, I love Pride and Prejudice. I got this just because I had Pride and Prejudice, and it was a cheap box set, but now I have all these other ones. I've been meaning to watch Atonement, and I hear it's awesome. I also have Lord of the Rings. Baby Driver. I love this movie. If only every single person who was in it wasn't such a terrible person, I would watch it more. Because I used to watch it a lot when it first came out. I think it's a really good movie, and I think Edgar Wright's a good director. So you have Clueless, I have La La Land. I don't remember when I got that. Veronica Mars, $1.99. I've never seen it, but $1.95. I can't read. $1.95, but I figured I would get it since it's $1.95. The Walking Dead, the complete 10th season. I got this on a Black Friday deal, which is why it has a sticker on it. I've seen the first 9 seasons, and I really need to catch up on that. Smallville, the complete first season. Again, a couple of these are things I bought because I want to watch them and I want to have access to them, and that is one of them. And I've heard a lot of great things about Smallville, but also I have a memory of one time I was spending the night at a friend's house and they played like one singular episode of this show. And I don't remember it very well, but I remember knowing it was Smallville and finding it kind of interesting and also having no context of what was going on. And so now I really want to watch it, and I'm excited to get to the episode I watched as a kid and just be filled with this nostalgia of, oh, that's the episode I saw at a friend's house. Doctor Who, the complete first series. I started collecting these again when I didn't have access to Wi-Fi and streaming. I watched this one a lot. I'd have to say it's not the best season, even though I love the 9th Doctor so much. Not the best season. I have a couple more Doctor Who's around here, like these from the later seasons that I have not seen because I watched it so much as a kid, but it was so hard because I didn't have streaming. I had like a Netflix DVD service. They discontinued that recently, but I used to do that, and I would get DVDs of the seasons and all that stuff. But then they wouldn't have the DVDs of like the Christmas specials, which were or any special episode, which was pivotal to the plot and understanding. And so at a certain point, I couldn't continue the show because I was missing context, and I need to get back into it. These are Naruto box sets. These technically belong to both me and my sister, I think. We got these when we were kids because we love Naruto and we watched these whole box sets. And they're nice and shimmery. We used to watch Naruto all the time on Cartoon Network, and when we got this, I wasn't quite sure what uncut meant, but when I watched it, that's how I found out they actually swear on the show, because I didn't know that, because I'd only ever watched it on Cartoon Network. But we watched Naruto a lot as a kid, and we also had like Naruto cards and headbands and all that stuff, and we were Naruto freaks. I have no idea how I acquired 2 copies of it. This one I think I got for $1, and this one $3.03 because it was also from Goodwill. But I love Little Miss Sunshine. It is such a beautifully heartbreaking, fun, depressing movie. I love movies that are kind of filled with a deep sadness. And I know that's weird, but I love movies that can make me sad, make me depressed, make me cry. I think those are some of the best ones out there, and I also think they can also be filled with so much warmth. And I think Little Miss Sunshine is one of those. It's such a wonderful little movie. The Shining. I love The Shining. I honestly love it better than the book, which I don't say about a lot of things, but I think the film is better than the book because I like, even though the book is really interesting and creepy, I like Kubrick's vision better. And I actually, The Birds and Psycho, a double feature, I showed my sister The Birds recently, so that was funny and ridiculous. I cannot take that movie seriously. And I also have, this is 20 movie classic set of Alfred Hitchcock. I don't know if you can see it. It's 20 Alfred Hitchcock movies. The only one I actually have seen is The Man Who Knew Too Much. And then I also, at some point, acquired this 4 DVD set, which, when I look at the titles, it is just 4 movies that are also in the bigger one. But now I have extras just in case. I could even give the smaller set to somebody else. I like having the option to give away my stuff. I like the idea of someone pointing at my shelf and being like, oh, I've been wanting to read that, and being like, here, take this book. I have 3 of them, or something like that. So I like duplicates for that reason, as well as also sometimes you can buy DVDs and the quality's just not that great, and so you want to get a different version. But what was I saying? Oh yes. Halloween is coming up, and I think for my Halloween video, I'm going to do something about final girls and, feminism in the horror genre, and also critiquing some of them and just talking about horror movies. And oh my gosh, I've got to stop yapping. Let me go through this collection. Gone with the Wind. Let's see, Turner Classic Movies box set. Audrey Hepburn DVD collection. I got this for like $5. This is my prized possession. Stop making sense. The A24 release. This is my favorite movie. I've seen it 320 times. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is also such a really neat case. I love it. It is my prized possession. I love Talking Heads. I love David Byrne. And speaking of David Byrne, True Stories from the Criterion Collection. Barnes & Noble has a Criterion Collection sale twice a year where everything is 50% off. Never buy Criterion except when it's on sale. Okay? So that's how I got this. 50% off. And I also love this because I love this movie. It's so cute and endearing, and I want to do a whole video just talking about how much I love this movie, so I don't want to get too much into it right now. But one thing I love about this specific edition is that the pages with details of information are presented as a newspaper. Like, it's literally, there's a little newspaper in here with details about the movie on it, and I love that. And it fits the plot and the theme of the movie really well that it's in newspaper form. And so those are some of my favorite DVDs that I own. I'm going to start going faster now because I'm talking way too much. I'm sorry. Heat. Love this movie so much. Also, pretty much everything I'm showing here from here on out is going to be ones that I got secondhand for between $1 and $5. So keep that in mind. Prisoners, really awesome movie. I love Denis Villeneuve. Dune. Blade Runner 2 film collection. I prefer Blade Runner 2049. I love Denis Villeneuve. Inception. I had 2 of these. I somehow acquired 2 of these. And so I gave one to the pastor of my church for his birthday a year or 2 ago, and he never watched it. I should have just kept it. I gave you a copy of Inception, and you didn't watch it. Anyway. Interstellar. I love Christopher Nolan very much. Memento. Insomnia. Christopher Nolan is a really great director. I've seen, I think, every movie he's ever made, and I really love Oppenheimer, Inception, Interstellar. Cliches, I know. I love all of his movies, really. There's not one single movie in his filmography that I don't like. I thought I had a DVD of The Prestige, but I guess I don't. That's another one I also like. I love his whole filmography. I think he's a really great director, and I'm looking forward to The Odyssey. I know a lot of people have problems with him, and I have my own critiques about him, and he's very lackluster representation of women, but I can critique that aspect and still like the movies. But let me keep going. And Justice for All, Al Pacino. I somehow ended up with 2 of these. The Godfather trilogy. We pretend the third one doesn't exist in this household. Are those all my Al Pacino movies? Well, time to get into my Cillian Murphy collection. Free Fire. This movie was just okay because the blocking was crazy. I could never tell where anyone was in any part of the scene. Red Lights. This movie kind of sucks, but I find it really... I still like it to a bit. It's bad in a fun way. Red Eye. A really campy Wes Craven thriller. It's a solid 3.5 stars for me. I've seen it a couple times just because it's a funny, stupid, really short thriller that's easy to put on. It's fun to me. Sunshine. I think this gets more hate than it deserves. Cold Mountain. Cillian Murphy is in this movie for approximately 3 seconds, and this movie is 2.5 hours long. Batman Begins. Oppenheimer. 4K Ultra HD. I love Oppenheimer. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. the complete second season. I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in this house. Zodiac. My favorite David Fincher movie. I would argue it's better than Gone Girl, although I also really love Gone Girl. Scream 1 through 3. I got this so I could watch the movies with my sister because she doesn't have streaming, and so I got DVDs so I could show these to her. Also, there was a time a year or 2 ago when I was obsessed with watching this all the time, and so I would do Scream marathons, and I would watch every movie all the way through. And then there was this whole thing where Scream 4 wasn't on streaming for a while, and I'm I don't want to skip Scream 4. I don't want to skip any movie when I'm doing an entire franchise rewatch. And listen, I am so mad at what the Scream franchise did, and I am so not looking forward to the next one. It sucks. For a lot of reasons, a lot bigger than me. But for me personally, it's my favorite slasher franchise, and so I'm just really disappointed. They never should have fired Melissa Barrera, and honestly, they deserve the next one to flop. But I'm sad because prior to them doing all that garbage, I was really looking forward to the next one because I loved Scream 6, and I feel like it's a slasher franchise that has gone downhill the least. I still look forward to the new movies. I can't tell you how much I despise the sequels to Friday the 13th and Halloween, and how just garbage they are. And if you love those and you enjoy them and you find them campy or you even hate watch them, that's fine. I've seen all of them of my own free will, even though I didn't enjoy it. I still chose to watch them. But Scream is a franchise where I would willingly return to the sequels because they're still fun and enjoyable, which is not true for a lot of slasher franchises, but I will be getting into that a bit in my Halloween video. Star Trek, the original motion picture, special longer version. I think this is so cool to have. It's a Wonderful Life. I love this movie, and there's the sticker on it that says $1, so I know I got that one secondhand for sure. Also, back to Star Wars, I got this entire Star Wars trilogy VHS, like gold edition, for $4 at a thrift store. We love good finds like that. But I don't have a ton of VHS tapes because for those they're a bit more decorative, and although I really would love to get a VHS player and watch VHS tapes because I just think there is a charm to the way things used to look, and I love it when I see other people watching their VHS tapes because I'm like, that's cool, I want to be able to play mine. I don't have a VHS player right now, but I want to get one. But I do have a DVD player, and so that's why DVDs are the majority of what I have, because I love watching movies. I like watching them without ads, and I like knowing that if I want to watch this movie today, I can, because I have a DVD player, and I'm not at the mercy of a streaming service who could just decide to take it off at any moment without really warning me. There was a time when I was watching a movie, right? And halfway through it, I was watching on streaming, halfway through it, they took it off the streaming service, and I couldn't watch the second half of the movie. Is that not ridiculous? I don't have to worry about that with DVDs. And with DVDs, you can loan it to a friend. You can take it over to a friend's house to watch it with them if they don't have streaming, or if, they live somewhere where they don't have a good signal, or just you can watch it without ads, because for me, even though I do have streaming, I don't pay for the ad-free version. And I don't talk about physical media and wanting to keep it to encourage hoarding, but it's just nice to know you have something that's yours. Because when it comes to streaming music or movies or TV shows, you don't own those things. They're not yours. They can be taken away at any time. But with DVDs and CDs and vinyls, they are yours, and you can do whatever you want with them. This is a box set of every single episode of The X-Files that I got a couple years ago before I had streaming and I wanted to watch the show. But even though I have streaming now, it's awesome because, again, no advertisements. I can watch this, and the visual quality is better than what is on streaming, and there's no ads. That is another thing I forgot to mention. The visual quality of a DVD or a Blu-ray is often better than whatever version they have on streaming, and you also don't have to worry about them cutting out bits and pieces of it. The visual quality is a lot better, and so that's a huge aspect for people like me who are really into cinema and really value things looking as beautiful as possible when they're on your screen. 1917, a pretty fun movie. Let's get into the Studio Ghibli of it all. Spirited Away, one of my favorite movies. I loved it since I was a kid. Howl's Moving Castle, I got this recently, that's why it's still in the packaging. I think my sister got this for me. My Neighbor Totoro, I love this movie so much. Ponyo, it's a really cute movie, but I don't like it as much as the others, if I'm being quite honest. To Kill a Mockingbird, really great movie. Gregory Peck is also really hot in it. Purple Noon, very interesting, not the best adaptation of The Talented Mr. Ripley. I would say the 1999 version with Matt Damon is really good. It also is so deeply filled with secondhand embarrassment that I often can't watch it, but I love that one. This is the hottest evil man to ever live, by the way. Alain Delon, or however you say his name. Gorgeous, gorgeous, evil man. A V for Vendetta. Interview with a Vampire. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Have it on DVD, so I can't erase it. Lawrence of Arabia. Knives Out. I have 2 different versions of The Departed. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Can you tell I'm rushing through it now? I feel like I've been taking way too long. Tombstone. Peanuts. This has the specials. This has the Christmas. It has Valentine, Easter, The Great Pumpkin, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. And I'm so glad because last Christmas I really wanted to watch a Charlie Brown Christmas and I couldn't because it wasn't on streaming. But who cares? I can watch it now. So I like having the holiday specials because I love the Charlie Brown holiday specials. And now I don't have to worry about them not being on streaming. Pokemon 4 DVD set. I love Pokemon, and I loved watching them, especially when I was a kid, and so they're very nostalgic for me. Detective Pikachu. Mamma Mia, here we go again. Big Hero 6. Look at this. Throwback Taylor Swift. Double feature Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. American Psycho. Someone actually gifted this to me when they were like cleaning out all of their DVDs and Blu-rays. Girl Interrupted. The Crow from the Miramax Dimensions Collector series. Parasite. This is one of the many movies that I made my sister watch. Silence of the Lambs, also a Criterion collection. I'm gonna try to get my sister to watch this one, but we'll see how that goes. So I didn't go through all of them, but I went through most of them. Those were most of my DVDs, like 99%. So now let's get into the CDs and vinyls. I just checked the time and I've already been filming for 40 minutes. So, I'm gonna have to cut this down a lot. I might not take as much time with the music because this is supposed to be a 20-minute video. So let's go over my cassette tapes to start. If you hear my stomach growling, ignore that. I need to eat. Genesis, Invisible Touch, the big band era, so just some music from that era. The Sound of Music. Air Supply, Now and Forever. I love having cassette tapes. These are specifically ones that I also got from my library sale because they do a sale twice a year, which I am so thankful for. And they always have some DVDs, VHS, and like CDs or cassettes. But then there's a big sale that happens every year, not at my library, but it's to support local libraries. And they always have, it's a huge sale, and they always have a section for music and DVDs also. So even though they have 90,000 books or something at this sale, and then they have a section for DVDs and VHS tapes and vinyls and CDs and all that stuff. And I love getting movies and music there. And it's near the checkout, so I always grab that like near the end. Like, okay, I've gotten so many books. Now let me grab a couple DVDs and head out. And so I can't actually remember if I got these at my local library or if I got them at the big annual sale thing. I don't think that really matters to you guys. Point is, I got them for cheap. But, I mean, who is selling cassette tapes for a lot of money? I don't think they are. But let me go through my CDs now. I'm just going to show you guys what I have. I'm not going to harp on them as much as I would like to because I love music and I love movies and I love talking about all this stuff. But girl, I can yap for a long time. My CD collection, I used to have more. I had a lot of CDs from my childhood that I kind of got rid of because they were like One Direction and stuff. And I used to adore One Direction. There's no shame in that, but I just didn't want to have the CDs anymore. And then a lot of the CDs I spent the majority of my childhood listening to actually belong to my parents, and so I don't even have those. Blurry Face. I love 21 Pilots. I adore them so much, and I also love their new album, Breach. I don't hear any 21 Pilots hates in the comments. I love them, okay? The Beast You Feed, Viridia. This is actually signed by the band. This is a relatively small band. In fact, they broke up not that long after this CD came out. But I loved listening to their music, and they got dropped by their label or something, or their label stopped existing. I can't remember. But they did like a kind of crowdfunding thing to get the CD out there, and you got a signed CD if you pledged like $25. So I pledged $25 to help get that out there, and now I have a signed CD. Francesca Battistelli. I can't believe I still have this. In my CCM era. A DVD I did not show you guys is something that is so embarrassing. Oh my gosh, there's a whole stack of DVDs over here I didn't show you guys. I don't have time for it. But on one of them is God's Not Dead. And that was a time in my life when I really loved movies, but I felt guilty or felt like I wasn't allowed to watch certain worldly movies because of the way that I grew up. And so even though I didn't really like God's Not Dead, I watched it and had it on DVD because it was like a Christian movie and I didn't feel bad about watching it, even though I never really enjoyed it. And I was never a super huge fan of this album, but it was one of the better like CCM music, the Christian contemporary music. And so I had that. Trench. I really need to get the Clancy and Breach. I love my Trench CD. And if you see this and you're like, what's Tecmo's Deception? That looks like a video game. I don't know. I've never in my life played Tecmo's Deception, and I don't know where this case came from because we've never had this game. But this is Taylor Swift's debut, the bootleg. Sorry for admitting that, but I still remember the first time I ever heard Taylor Swift. I was at my grandmother's house. I was sitting on her floor, and she was playing like Sirius XM or whatever the heck it is on her TV, and Our Song by Taylor Swift came on the radio, and I was like, oh, I love this song. I want to hear it again. you can't really do that on the radio. But my cousin happened to be home that day, and she's like, "You want me to burn you that song on a CD?" Because my cousins had this cool CD setup where they like burned music all the time. And I was like, "Yeah." And I thought she was just gonna burn me that one song, but she burned me the entire Taylor Swift debut album. And I went home and I listened to that CD all the time throughout my entire childhood. It was like a staple of my music library. Even as my taste changed and I grew, that was one of the albums that I continued to listen to. So that was like a life-changing moment for me. Rumors, Fleetwood Mac, great album. Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture. Well, you didn't think I'd have this one, did you? Scaled and Icy, let's go! And also Taylor Swift 1989 Polaroids. Love it! Oh my gosh, that sounded awful, I'm so sorry. Red. I'm sorry I don't have any of Taylor's versions, but I did pre-order Life of a Showgirl. Okay, so don't come for me. Speak Now. The Hunger Games Catching Fire soundtrack. I honestly love the music on this soundtrack so much, and especially Silhouettes by Of Monsters and Men. And I love all the music that was made for the Hunger Games, pretty much. I spent longer talking about that than I meant to. Now time to get to the piece de resistance, my vinyl collection. Okay, let's go! This is Joan Baez, Queen Baez. I feel like this probably goes without saying, or maybe it doesn't, but every single vinyl here is thrifted. I've never bought a vinyl brand new, except for The Life of a Showgirl. Really looking forward to the album. That is something that I pre-ordered. I'm really nervous to pay for music without hearing it. I've never actually done that before. Joan Baez. One Day at a Time. She has such an amazing voice. Billy Joel, 52nd Street. Do I have to say anything about that? It's Billy Joel. Bob Dylan, one of his best albums ever. I will fight you on that. Also, you can tell it's secondhand because if you look, can you see it? At the bottom, there is some... It looks like somebody dripped like gasoline or something on the back of it, and I tried to wipe it off. It also looks like somebody put their cigarettes out on it. Like the back of this case has been through it, but the rest of it's fine. But there is some like oil on it. Anyway, funny story about Funny Face. I was at the checkout for this, and there was a lady standing next to me while I was checking out, and she started talking about this movie, and she's like, "Oh, that's the movie with like Fred Astaire and the girl," and I'm like, "Yeah, Audrey Hepburn." And she's like, "No, it wasn't Audrey Hepburn." And I'm like, "Yeah, it was. I've seen the movie. It's also her face on the vinyl." And she was kind of somewhat arguing with me about it, like, "No, it wasn't Audrey Hepburn, it was somebody else." And come to find out, she hadn't even seen the movie. She had just heard about it. And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I have seen the movie." And I didn't say it the way I'm about to say it to you guys, but I was like, "I have seen the movie. I'm buying the vinyl. Her face is on it." And I think it says her name on the back, and I'm pretty sure I opened it up and showed her the pictures of Audrey Hepburn that are in here to be like, "Audrey Hepburn." I was not snarky about it, but I was really confused that she was arguing with me about it at the checkout about whether or not Audrey Hepburn was in this movie. It's her face on the cover. I'm buying the soundtrack because I've seen this movie. And now time for the beautiful Beatles anthology. This is Beatles anthology number 2. Brand spanking new, still in the plastic. I have not had the strength to open it up yet and take it out of the plastic. I just can't do it. This is so gorgeous. Probably my prized vinyl, because they don't make this anymore. And when I found this thrifting, I was like, oh my gosh. They also had the Beatles Anthology 3 brand new also, but I couldn't afford both, so I chose this one. Bob Dylan. Another side of Bob Dylan. I think he looks really cute on this cover. Good album too, but I like that picture. Dylan. I have not been able to find a Talking Heads vinyl, but I found Jerry Harrison, and so I bought it. Johnny Mathis. You never see it in any of the videos, but I have a couple $1 vinyls that I got secondhand at the big library sale. They're $1. I got them just to hang on my wall as decoration. Please don't get mad at me for that. But they are Johnny Mathis, Tommy Dorsey Orchestra, and George Gershwin. Those, wait, then there's the fourth one. I don't know where the fourth one went, but I have 4 vinyls on my wall that I got secondhand, so they are Tommy Dorsey. I have 2 Johnny Mathis ones. Then I have George Gershwin. I do like Johnny Mathis, but I got those just for decoration. Because I wasn't going to pay like a bunch of money for a fake vinyl to put on my wall when I could just go get a dollar one, you know? Stevie Nicks. I love her. Nixon Buckingham, let's go. And finishing it off how we started, Joan Baez in concert. I could go on for so long about every single thing I've shown you here. I meant to go into more detail about how I acquired each one and what they all mean to me, but I'm talking for so long. But I think you guys got the gist. I have a pretty decently large collection. I value physical media because I like the idea of owning stuff and not being at the whim of a streaming service, both music and TV and movies. Because let me tell you, I recently discovered, as in like in the past 2 days, that an album I liked, or that an artist I liked, had taken all of her music off streaming, and now I can't listen to it. And I'm kind of bummed about that. And it's her right to do that, but man, it would sure be nice if I'd had a CD of that so I could still listen to it even though it's not on streaming anymore. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today and going through this with me. I hope it wasn't super boring hearing me just ramble on. I have some more video essays and fun stuff coming up in the future, so stick around for that. And I cannot believe it's already October. I really need to get working on my Halloween video, don't I? I have a costume I want to wear for it, so I need to get that. But you'll see in time. For now, that's all, folks. See you next time. Bye!